What's going on, everyone? It's the Angry Trainer back with another video for you, and we have Great League back, so I'm going to be showcasing Shadow Manectric. This one I have is ranked about 90 for PvP IVs, pretty good, and it's got Snarl, Wild Charge and Overheat as the moveset. It's an incredibly glassy Pokemon, so I'm going to be pairing it up with the two OGs of Great League. I've got an Altaria here, is an Altaria, not a Swablu, contrary to what it says, and it's ranked 72. I've not got Moonblast on it because I didn't TM it, and then we've got the tank Azumarill here, ranked 28 with Bubble, Ice Beam, Play Rough. Yes, I know Azumarill was boring, but it was very difficult to pair this Pokemon up with anything that wasn't tanky. So about 2/3 of the video through, I'm probably going to swap the team out. We're going to have Toxicroak with Counter, Mud Bomb and Sludge Bomb as the moveset. That's not very good PvP IVs, but then we've got a ranked 190 Skarmory with Air Slash, Sky Attack and Brave Bird. Let's get into it. So yeah, Shadow Manectric, very difficult to run, but a lot of fun. So let's see what happens. So we've got Shadow Swampert on the lead, so that's pretty good for the Altaria, and they swap into a Drapion. And Drapion isn't really that great for either of my back two Pokemon. It's obviously doing super effective with the poison against Azumarill due to the fairy typing. And then with the Manectric, it's just doing quite a lot of damage with its fast move and also getting to its charge moves pretty quickly. So we're going to stay in with the Altaria, but we do decide to actually swap out and catch the Crunch on the Azumarill, which is a questionable play really, because if they do have Sludge Bomb, we're going to definitely have to shield. So yeah, I think the reason I did that was just so I could keep the Altaria healthy to go back up against the Swampert when it comes back in. So we do shield that up just in case it's a Sludge Bomb, and it is actually another Crunch, so this Drapion must just be running Aqua Tail and Crunch. So they go for another one, and I think that I'm going to try and farm down here, but it's a bit ambitious and they're going to do a lot of damage to us by the time that we get there. But we've committed to it now, so we're going to farm them down all the way. They do get us into the red, but we are fully loaded and ready to go for what comes back in. And it's the Swampert that comes back in, so luckily it's something that we can hit for neutral damage on with our charge moves, and the energy isn't wasted. So we throw the Ice Beam and they don't shield it up. So we get to another Ice Beam, and I'm expecting them to shield this one. And they do shield it up, so we're going to swap straight into the Altaria now, and they're going to throw their energy. Now I was concerned at this point that this was a Sludge Wave, but they did bait us with a Hydro Cannon. I'm not actually sure whether they had enough energy to get to the Sludge Wave there, but we shielded it up just in case we didn't want to go down to that. But it's a good thing that the Swampert dumped its energy. And then they bring in a Skarmory, so it's not very good for the Altaria at all, as it is resisting the flying moves due to the steel typing. So we're going to go for a Sky Attack anyway, and Altaria does do good damage to it because it does still dig in with the Dragon Breath even though it is resisted. So they're going to KO us here because they don't want us to actually take them out with the Dragon Breath. So I'm going to have to come in with Manectric now, and I know that a Brave Bird is definitely going to KO this thing even though it's resisted. So we farm up a little bit, we're going to try and make the swap, and we do catch the Brave Bird, absolutely crucial. We've given ourselves a chance in this battle, so they still have the Swampert in the back. So we're going to just have to go straight for the Wild Charge because Hydro Cannon's definitely going to take us out. So we throw the Wild Charge and we take out the Swampert. It doesn't matter that it's resisted. We're farming up and we're going to make it to another Wild Charge and we're going to take the win. So Manectric closing things out there, but that Brave Bird swap was absolutely crucial. I was really happy with that one. So GG's on to the next one. So we've got Altaria into Medicham, so this is a very good lead for us. And they are going to threaten us with the Ice Punch as it is double super effective because we're Dragon and Flying type. So they get to what would be the Ice Punch, but I know I can survive one and we let it go through, and it's great call because it's just a power up punch. So they completely wasted their energy there. So they come in with the Thicky Tongue on the swap. We're not going to go into the Azumarill because it's going to threaten us with Power Whip, and we're not going to go into the Manectric either because it's just going to outbulk us. It's probably going to just soak up all the damage and just KO us with a few licks and Body Slam. So we're going to stay in with the Altaria here, and we're just going to go to town with the Sky Attacks. Missing a load of bubbles there, so inconsistent with the flying animation, it's unreal. So you can see there, if we'd have actually hit the Excellent, we probably would have taken the Licky Tongue out and not had to commit a shield here. I'm usually quite good for that, but not on that occasion. So we see what they're going to bring in, and it is a Ting. It's a Shadow Gardevoir, so very spicy and a bit unexpected and bad for Altaria, but luckily we are able to get to the Sky Attack. So we throw that and they're definitely going to shield up. We come in with the Azumarill and we're just going to go straight for the Ice Beam. Shadow Gardevoir is very glassy, so it will definitely KO. So they're definitely going to shield this up now. So they do shield it up. So wondering if they're going to throw their energy or they're going to swap out, and then they do get to a move and they're going to throw it now. We're going to shield up the Azumarill. We want to keep it alive and try and bank the Ice Beam and get it off. But they do actually swap back into the Medicham, so that's really good. So we go for the Play Rough, which is great because this is going to do a lot of damage. It's almost going to take it out. So I could have stored that move and just come in with the Manectric and then gone for a Wild Charge, but it looks like what I'm going to do is actually farm up a bit more with the Azumarill, bring in the Manectric and actually just sack it. Look how much damage that did, goodbye. And then we're going to come back in with the Azumarill and we're just going to build up to the Ice Beam and throw that against the Gardevoir and take the win. So yeah, sorry to Manectric there. I promised that it will be getting some love in the other battles, but I thought that was quite funny how we just sacked it there and got the win. So we're going to the next one against Navi Bam 1. And they're leading with a Chesnaught, so it's very good for the Altaria. as we're resisting both of the moves. So they swap out into a Shadow Nidoqueen, and I did see a ton of Shadow Nidoqueen still in the Great League on the swap, and it does give a bit of a trouble to this team. It will absolutely destroy the Manectric, and obviously it's going to destroy the Azumarill as well. So at this point, once again, we're going to stay in with the Altaria. It is also doing a lot of damage to us. We did let the first Poison Fang through. So now we're debuffed, and they're going to hit us with a second one, which we definitely have to shield up. And then we make a swap into Azumarill, which may seem like a bit of a weird play. The thinking was behind this is we've got a pretty bad matchup against Chesnaught. We want to save some health on the Altaria, and at least this way we can actually farm up a bit of energy and then threaten the Chesnaught with Play Rough or an Ice Beam. So we're expecting them to come back in. They do come back in, and they don't have any energy because I don't think they stayed in much against the Altaria. So we're going to throw the Play Rough, and it does a ton of damage, probably about 3/4 worth. They are farming up, and then all of a sudden they make a swap into Medicham and they catch the Ice Beam. So that's a pretty good play. They did waste the Ice Beam there, but we need to do damage against the Medicham anyway, so it's not too bad. They counter us down, and I would have thought we're going to come back in, or we come in with the Manectric, and we're going to farm up a little bit. And we're definitely going to shield this up, as even if it's an Ice Punch, it's going to do a lot of damage, and it is the Psychic. So now we're going to farm up as much as we can and throw the Wild Charge. This is definitely going to KO the Medicham. And then they're going to come back in with a Chesnaught, and then we're going to probably look to swap, and we do make a swap and we catch the move. So either way this is going to be resisted, but it turns out to be the Energy Ball, so that's brilliant because that's definitely the higher energy move that they've used. And Grass is double resisted due to the Flying and Dragon typing. Had to use all their energy to get rid of us, and we come in and just snarl down with the Manectric, so well played there. And into the next battle against Thrash 2006. So we have an Umbreon on the lead, and this is a pretty neutral matchup. It would be a lot better for the Altaria if we had the Community Day Moonblast, but I made this at a different time, and I'm not prepared to use an Elite TM on Altaria. I don't really use it at all in the Great League. This is probably one of the main times I've ever used it. So in this matchup, we're just going to take all the damage from the Umbreon. We're definitely not going to shield. We're going to build up to the Moonblast anyway, even though we don't have it. We missed a few bubbles there, not that it mattered because they did end up shielding, which is really, really good for us. So we're going to take the shield advantage into the next matchup. We're definitely not going to use a shield here. We're going for another Sky Attack rather than the Dragon Pulse, probably because I thought maybe I could get to another one, but I think I definitely should have gone for the Dragon Pulse there. At the same time, it does mean that they're going to have to throw their energy just to get rid of us before we get to another Sky Attack, so they take us out. And then we bring in the Azumarill. So we're just going to go to Farm Town here. So we're going to build up as much energy as we possibly can, and we're going to take all the damage from the Umbreon. As you can see, the last result doesn't do too much to Azumarill. But we're likely not going to be able to bubble down, so we're probably going to end up just throwing our energy just to make sure. So we get up as much as we can. We're capped at 100, and we throw the Ice Beam. We slightly we undercharge it, seeing if we can get another bubble through, but we're definitely not going to be able to do that anyway. It takes it out. So they come in with Deoxys. We've got 2 shields left, so it's not looking too bad, but they will be able to take us out if they throw a Thunderbolt. We go for the Play Rough, as we're going to be getting more damage off of this move, as we're getting the stab bonus from it being the Fairy typing, rather than Ice Beam. So we go for another Play Rough. We'd get the last shield out of them, which is really, really good. And then we make a swap into Manectric. I think initially I tried to do this thinking that I might be able to catch the Thunderbolt, and then I thought I need to shield this up just in case it isn't, and I probably would have taken out a lot of its health anyway. And then they swap into an Azumarill, so very surprising that they chose to actually come in with the Azumarill when they probably could have thrown another move with the Deoxys. So we're building up as much energy as possible, and now we're going to throw the Wild Charge. Is this going to be enough to KO? Oh, it's not, but it does so much damage to the tanky XL Azumarill. So we build up another 3 Snarls, and we'll get to a second Wild Charge just so we've got the energy ready to go against the Deoxys. The Deoxys comes back in, and we just throw this and seal the win. So you can see there, Manectric in the back absolutely devastated that team. But a bit confusing why the opponent went straight into the Azumarill and they didn't throw the energy off the Deoxys, because if they'd done that, they would have forced the second shield from us, and then they wouldn't have allowed us much farm off the Azumarill, because we would have had to just throw our energy straight away. So they actually lost the match by doing that. So into the next battle anyway, and we had a Skarmory on the lead, so it's not very good for the Altaria, as it is resisting all our moves, but we are still able to do a lot of damage. So we are going to just stay in. I'm kind of just, with this team, I'm trying to stay in the matchups and take as many shields as possible. Just basically hoping to soak up all the damage with the 2 tanks and then let Manectric sweep in the back. But when Manectric is so frail, then fast moves become a problem, so it doesn't always work out. But anyway, they just take us out with the Skarmory. We're going to come in with Manectric and look to farm down the whole way, so this is a good opportunity to get that energy lead against some resisted fast moves, as the electric resists the flying typing. So then the opponent came in with a Shadow Quagsire, and we throw the Wild Charge, and they do shield it up respecting it, which is fair play. And then we throw another Wild Charge, and it's going to be resisted, but look at the damage this does. Oh my god, that did well over half health. of the Shadow Quagsire there, even though it was resisted. Absolutely disgusting. They did throw an Earthquake with the Quagsire, which done a ton of health on the Azumarill, and we probably should have shielded that up. And then they come in with a Shadow Swampert, so they've got double Shadow Mudboy in the back, which is a very interesting team. So they've used both their shields, but where Swampert is so spammy, it's still going to create quite a problem for us. We shield this up, hoping it's not a Earthquake or a Sludge Wave. And then they throw another move, so we know this is just going to be a Hydro Cannon, so we're going to let it go through, and then we're going to get off the Ice Beam, which I think is actually a misplay. We should have gone for the Play Rough there. I'm not really sure why we went for it, but I think we thought this is just going to do enough damage. It doesn't do enough, and we come in with Manectric, and we're definitely going to have to shield this up. And it looks like we're going to just try and build ourselves up to 2 Wild Charges, and they come back in with a Quagsire, and you can see how much damage the Mud Shots are doing, and it's putting us down into the red. We get off a Wild Charge, which has now debuffed us, and look at this, look. All we needed to do there was just get that one bit of damage through from the Snarl. If you actually see, just before our Snarl registered, they took us out with the Mud Shot, and they survived by 1 HP, so that was the difference. So a really tight game. GG's to my opponent there. But we could have won the match there if we just threw the Play Rough instead of the Ice Beam. No, but you live and you learn. So into the next one, we've got Obstagoon on the lead. So it's a very, very good lead for the Altaria once again. They are decided to stay in, and they're going to throw a Night Slash, wondering if they're going to dip out after this. And they do dip out into Deoxys. So once again, we're not swapping out. We're going to stay in with Altaria. We don't want to go into Manectric, as Deoxys is very tanky. And we don't want to go into Azumarill, as they could threaten us with the Thunderbolts, even though Azumarill can take a couple of Thunderbolts. So we're going to stay in with the Altaria, and we're going to shield up the first Thunderbolt, and then we're going to go for the Sky Attack. So I'm expecting them to shield here, and they do shield it up, and then we're going to build up to another Sky Attack. Hopefully we maybe can farm them down, but they do get to another move. And at this point I do decide that I will commit the second shield. We might have even survived it, but it would have been tight. But the reason that I shielded that is I want to keep the Azumarill aligned with the Obstagoon, because it's such an easy matchup unless they have the Gunk Shot, which most of the time they don't run. So we get off the Sky Attack, and they shield it up, so that's brilliant. So not only have we won switch, but now we have the shield advantage. We've got them into the ELO, and they're going to have to throw their energy to take us out. So we come in with the Azumarill, and they make an instant swap to the Hypno, and we make an instant swap to the Manectric, and we're going to get to a Wild Charge. They've already taken out half our health just with Confusions, but let's see how much damage this does. Oh my god, get out of the game, Hypno, and then they back out. I'm not surprised. And Hypno, I mean, it's a Shadow Hypno, it's pretty tanky still, but it still demolished that thing. So Manectric showing the closing power again with its disgusting attack. So into the next battle, we've got a Sableye on the lead. I think this is a pretty decent matchup for the Altaria, as we can threaten once again with the Moonblast, even though we don't have it. They do shield up, and we're easily going to be able to take a Foul Play from them. They do throw the Foul Play, and it does about a quarter of Altaria's health. Altaria, like I said, is very, very tanky. So we're going to shield this one up, match shields with them, thinking that we could probably get to another Sky Attack and either force the second shield or win the switch advantage. So we see if they commit the second shield, which they do. A lot of people like to double shield their Sableyes, and it looks like they're attempting to farm us down, which is crazy. We were about to farm them down, and they make a nice play. They quickly swap into Bastiodon to snipe the Altaria, and they bank their energy on the Sableye. So well played there, but we're going to come in with the Manectric and see what this thing can do. This is one of the tankiest Pokemon, if not the tankiest in Great League. So we're going to throw the Overheat, and it does a massive amount of damage, but it was just over half. So it shows how tanky Bastiodon actually is. They throw a Stone Edge. We're obviously going to shield it up, and we're going to build up some more energy. And I think we're going to dip out and save the energy and go into the Azumarill. That way we can store all that energy on the Manectric, and then we can come in with the Azumarill and farm up a lot ourselves, as the bubble's doing super effective damage. Expecting they're going to come in with the Sableye once we take this thing out and probably hit a return on the Azumarill. So we want to take this out before we get too low, so that the return doesn't take us out. And here comes the Sableye, so expecting the return, and return does do a massive amount of damage. But we are able to survive it, and we are able to farm down, so it's very, very good for us. Seeing what they're going to bring back in. And they bring in a Medicham, so that's really, really good for us. It's great that we were able to survive the return and get off this Play Rough, as Medicham's quite tanky, so I think it would have survived a Wild Charge. We're barely hanging on with 2 Wild Charges stored on the Manectric. We'll throw the first one, and I'm sure we just have that Bastiodon left. We just end up snarling them down, and that's a great game. On to the next one. Oh yeah, I just left this in. Shout out to this guy, Master of Balls 69. What a great name. He completely hard countered me, so I didn't include the battle, but that name did make me chuckle, so shout out to him. Into the next battle, we've got a Mandibuzz on the lead, and it's another very neutral matchup, very similar to the Umbreon matchup. It's pretty much the flying Umbreon. So just like that matchup, we are going to fake that we have the Moonblast, so we're building up just past the Dragon Pulse, and we throw the Sky Attack. So hoping we get a shield out of them here. And they do shield it up, which is really, really good. That's exactly what we want from this matchup. We just want to take the shield advantage. We're not too bothered about the swap. we can come in with the Azumarill and farm down. So it looks like now we've learned a lesson. We are actually going to go for the Dragon Pulse. I don't think we would have made it to 2 Sky Attacks. Let's see if this is enough to take it out. Or they hang on just by a little bit. They've got like 1 HP left. So we take the shield advantage, giving up the switch, and they come in with Venusaur. So it's not looking too great because we're going to have to get to 2 Ice Beams to take it out. And the Frenzy Plant is going to absolutely devastate the Azumarill. And Frenzy Plant is such a devastating move. It is really overpowered, as are the other 2 Community Day moves for the starter Pokemon. So we throw the Ice Beam and we get the last shield out of them, which is really, really good. And I think we make a big call here. We're going to decide to actually let the Azumarill go down, and we're going to put all of our chips into the Shadow Manectric, which is very, very risky. So I was thinking to myself, we can come in, we can get a big energy lead on them, and then we'll go for a Wild Charge, and we'll just hope that that'll be enough to take out the Venusaur, because Venusaur isn't the tankiest Pokemon when it comes to Great League. So we throw the Wild Charge, and we'll see how much damage it does. It does KO, which is absolutely amazing, and it come in with a Registeel, so this is exactly what you want to see. We're going to throw the Overheat, see how much damage it does. Oh dear, almost one-shots a full health Registeel, so it shows the power of Manectric there, and I bet a lot of you enjoyed that, getting that big tin can out of here. So GG's, on to the next one. So we've got a Nidoqueen Shadow on the lead, which is good that we're seeing it on the lead. We don't really want to see it on the swap or in the back, but it is a very close matchup, and I think it can actually come down to IVs, but we'll see how it plays out anyway. So we're going to go for the Sky Attack, and it's likely they're going to shield this up because it will pretty much take them out. So they do shield it up. They already hit us with a Poison Fang and debuffed us, so we're going to shield up the second one, as it would likely pretty much take us out. We want to see what they want to do. See if we can get to another Sky Attack. We just about get to the second Sky Attack there. So likely they're going to let this go through, and they do let it go down, and they come in with a Sableye. So not the worst thing in the world, as we do have the Azumarill, which is going to be able to resist the foul plays, but obviously a return is going to do a lot of damage, and the Shadow Claw is not resisted. So they throw the return, and it does a lovely chunk of damage for them, but we're still looking in a pretty good spot. So we're going to farm up a little bit, and we're going to hit the Play Rough. So this is likely going to take them out if they don't shield, and they do go down, and we swap straight into our Manectric, and they've got a Shadow Shiftry in the back. So this is looking really dodgy for us now. They can get to their charge moves very, very quickly, and likely that one Leaf Blade is going to take us out. So we're going to build up to the Wild Charge and bait. This is our only real option here, because we can't throw the Overheat. And they let it go through, and it just takes them out. Look at that. Shiftry resists Electric, and Manectric says, I don't care about that at all. Get out. So into the next one, we've got Abomasnow on the lead, which is pretty much the worst lead we could get. They're absolutely tearing into us with the Powder Snow, but we don't want to swap into either of our other Pokemon because they're going to get devastated by it as well. So we do decide to stay in and throw the Sky Attack just to get a shield off them. And we're going to try and build up to another one, but I can see that that is completely silly. And we're in a really bad spot now because they've farmed us down completely. They're going to be able to get off an Energy Ball against the Azumarill, which is going to do a ton of damage due to the fact that this is a Shadow Abomasnow. They do make a quick swap after that into Deoxys, so we bring in the Manectric, and we're thinking this is a pretty bad spot here, but there's still potential. If we can farm up enough energy on a Manectric and maneuver around enough, we might be able to pull it off. So we're farming up as much as we can. So we're going to throw the Wild Charge, and it absolutely destroys the Deoxys. And once again, the Manectric hitting so hard. So the Abomasnow comes back in, and we've got to get our energy off right away because the Abomasnow is tearing into us where we debuffed ourselves from the Wild Charge. So we throw the Wild Charge, and we're going to take out the Abomasnow, and it's looking really bleak for us. And they come in with a Polytoad, and we're thinking we can bank the energy on Manectric and maybe make this work, and they back out. So that's pretty insane. I thought I was going to lose that. I don't know if they just lost track of how much health the Azumarill had. They thought they had more, and maybe they just had Blizzard, but I think they could have won that. So I'm very happy to see my opponent back out. Thank you for that, sir. So we're going to the next matchup. We've got another Umbreon on the lead. So this is quite a long drawn out battle, as both of these Pokemon are so bulky. But we're going to play out exactly as we did before, which is we're going to fake for the Moonblast and hope that we can get a shield out of them, which is the best case scenario. They don't take the bait this time, so that is well played to my opponent. They let the Sky Attack go through, so we're going to let another foul play go through, and we're going to build up to potentially the Moonblast again to hope that we can get their shield out of them. That's basically what we want. We know we can survive another foul play, so we let it go through, and we're going to throw the Dragon Pulse anyway, just in case they don't shield this up. And it looks like they don't shield it up, and we still aren't able to take them out, and they survive by 1 HP, just the same as the Mandibuzz matchup. So a bit unfortunate there, but not too bad. We didn't even get a shield out of them, so yeah, it's not looking too great, but we're coming with the Azumarill, and they're bringing a Whiscash, so that's really, really good for us. Assuming they must be weak in the back to Azumarill, because it's not a great matchup to come in with the Whiscash, and this is actually fantastic for the Manectric, because Whiscash absolutely destroys Manectric. So we're going straight for the Play Rough. Likely they're not going to shield the first one, and this is going to do more damage, and then hopefully we can just use an Ice Beam to take them out and farm up a little bit extra. So they're throwing another Mud Bomb here. As you can see, it does not do a lot of damage to XL Azumarill at all. So they're throwing another one. It is incredibly spammy. This is the fun thing about Whiscash. It is a fun Pokemon to use. But we get to the Ice Beam and we're building up as much energy as we can. So we throw the Ice Beam and they let it go through and they live by 1 HP and then they quickly swap it into a Shadow Moltres. So random, didn't expect that at all. And look at the amount of damage that they've done to us. They were looking to farm us down the whole way. Luckily we are able to get to the back-to-back Wild Charge, so we're going to throw that and we're going to get both the shields out of them, which is very crucial. And then they're likely going to take us out with the Fire Spin. So they're going to have loaded energy, but we have the 2 shields and we've got so much health left on the Azumarill. I know it looks like we haven't got a lot, but when you've got an XL Azumarill and they're doing resisted damage, it's pretty much like having a full Pokemon. So we get to the Ice Beam, we take out the Moltres, and then we bubble down the Whiscash, and that is a very good game there. So it just shows there with the alignment, they were double weak to Azumarill in the back, and we've got a lovely Cresselia as a prize for going 3 out of 5 in that set. So into the next one, we've got another Obstagoon on the lead, and they instantly swap into the Shadow Nidoqueen. And this isn't the best for the team, like I said before, but it's good that they're swapping into this so the Otaria can be matched up with it. So we're going to throw the Sky Attack, expecting them to shield up once again. We've seen this before, they're likely going to commit that first shield. And then we're going to commit our second one, just so we can get off another Sky Attack and either win switch or we can take both the shields from the Nidoqueen. So we're going to get to the Sky Attack and we throw, but they actually managed to outpace us this time to the second Poison Jab. Poison Fang, so we're going to let it go through and we're going to bring in the Azumarill, and at least this time we're able to actually fully farm down without them getting off the Poison Fang against the Azumarill. So they bring in the Mirror, and we're going to go for the Play Rough, of course, and they did sneak in a Bubble there, which is terrible. I've always been really bad at letting Bubbles through with the Azumarill Mirror match. Bubble's one of those annoying fast moves that's hard to time, a bit like Charm, so they're probably going to hit us with their own Play Rough unless it's a Hydro Pump. But most Azumarills I've seen these days are running the Play Rough and Ice Beam combination due to the Mirror match. It's so annoying when you've just got Hydro Pump. So we swapped into Manectric and they swapped back into their Obstagoon. So we're farming up as much energy as we possibly can and we're going for the Wild Charge and we're hoping and praying this is going to take them out. And it just isn't enough to KO them and they're 1 HP from going down, and that's going to be the difference in this match. If we could just KO'd them and then took the shield with the Wild Charge, we might have had a chance. Maybe we should have actually gone for the overheat there against the Obstagoon. So into the next one against, oh no, it's COVID-19. So props to the name there, it's quite funny, made me chuckle. So now, as you can see from the left-hand side, I've changed up the team. We've now got Skarmory in the lead and we've got Toxicroak there. And the first match with Skarmory on the lead and we've got a Mirror. And as you can see, we did actually desync and they were getting in the fast moves ahead of us. There's still a very big problem with the game. It seems to be happening every now and then. So we're going to go for Sky Attacks each. We did both build up quite a lot just in case the opponent went for a Brave Bird, and then we could have thrown the Sky Attack against the heavily debuffed opponent. So they go for the Brave Bird now, and then they're going to swap out straight away, and we go for our own Brave Bird, which is definitely a misplay. We should have gone for the Sky Attack there in case they shielded it up, and they did shield it up. So we come in with a Toxicroak, and now we're going to look to counter down. Both the Power Up Punch and the Foul Play are resisted. I was thinking they likely are going to go for a Power Up Punch so they can then get off a buffed Foul Play or even risk that. So what we end up doing is throwing the Mud Bomb so that they can't hit us with that. We don't want to use a shield. So then they come back in with the Skarmory, which isn't good for the Toxicroak. Looks like they're trying to farm us down. I think they did actually get an Air Slash through there when we threw the Mud Bomb, so it's absolutely terrible for us and they're able to take us out. And then we come in with our own Skarmory and we was looking to just like get off a move and we didn't have anything. So they come in with Medicham. We've got 2 shields left, so we're going to shield this one up because the Manectric can't take any damage at all. And we're looking to build up to 2 Wild Charges. And we get to the first one, and you'll see what happens here. I then just go down instantly. Well, I didn't even think they got to move through. That's how weak Manectric is. The game was like, no, you just can't even take that. Like throwing a Wild Charge was too much for the Manectric at that health, and it just took itself out. Anyway, into the next one, we've got Shadow Machamp on the lead. You would think this would be a good matchup for the Skarmory being a flying typing, but due to the steel typing neutralising the fighting moves, Shadow Machamp is just doing so much to the Skarmory, and with the counters and then a cross chop, it's going to be enough to take us out. So we decide to shield up the first one, we get shield out of them, and then we go down to the cross chop. So they do win the switch, and we're going to come in with the Toxicroak and take them out straight away. And then they do come in with a Skuntank, a Shadow Skuntank at that. And that tells me straight away that they're weak to Toxicroak in the back, so likely it's going to be a steel type of some sort, maybe a Bastiodon or a Stunfisk. There's no way they would have come in with the Skuntank, as the poison jabs by them are resisted by the Toxicroak, and we're going to outpace them to the Mud Bombs. The counter's not resisted either due to the dark typing of the Skuntank. So we're going to take them out, and we shielded up the Toxicroak because we knew that they had something in the back that was weak to Toxicroak. We suspected it was going to be a Stunfisk, so we swap instantly into Manectric, hoping the Manectric can actually survive a move, and it does, so that's an achievement for the thing. And we're going to get off the Overheat, which is going to absolutely devastate the little bear trap. Goodbye to you, sir, and GG's to the opponent. So that was a good win there, and on to the next one. So Season 10 was announced yesterday, and some exciting news there. Really looking forward to the new season. I've been thinking I may make a little tips video on just like how to get to Legends, so look out for that. So in this battle, we had Bastiodon on the lead for the Skarmory, which is absolutely terrible. So we swapped straight out into Manectric, and they swapped into the Sableye. So it's not terrible for us, as we can outpace them to the wild charges. But as soon as we use one of them, we're going to be so debuffed that the Shadow Claws are going to be tearing into us, and they could easily farm us down here. So we throw the second wild charge, and I'm really surprised that they didn't commit their second shield to that, because they surely wanted to maintain the Bastiodon and Skarmory matchup. So that worked out perfectly for us, because we get to bring the Toxicroak in against the Bastiodon, and we're absolutely hammering them with the counters. And then they swap out into a Medicham. So we're not even going to muck about. We're going to go straight for the Sludge Bomb, a massive chunk of their health, and then we're going to swap into the Skarmory. So this has worked out perfectly. We're not going to shield anything from the Medicham, as we don't need to shield anything. We don't even care about the Skarmory at this point. We just want to farm them down. So they're going to throw another move, which is likely just going to be another power-up punch. Most power-up punch users will have Psychic. And then you can see something really interesting here that happens. I stop attacking because I don't want to take them out. If I take them out, then the Bastiodon will be able to farm me down the entire way, and then they can throw 2 moves against the Toxicroak. So well played to my opponent. He did actually recognise that, and he stopped attacking himself. But in reality, all he did was give me a chance to wait out the switch timer. So they did begin to throw counters, so we just took them out once we were within like a 1 move sort of timing of the switch timer being up. So we did that and threw the Brave Bird against the Bastiodon, and then we're coming with the Toxicroak, and we're just going to pulverise the castle face until he is a pile of rubble. So GG to my opponent there. It was a bit unfortunate, but he definitely should have double shielded the Sableye. That was the win con. So we're going to the next one, and we've got Mandibuzz on the lead. So we're doing quite a bit of damage to them with the air slashes, but they are going to be able to outpace us to the foul plays. So we're going to fake the Brave Bird here and hope that they throw up a shield or they let it go. I'm not sure if a Brave Bird will be enough to take out the Mandibuzz. I haven't actually played this matchup before. So they go and throw another foul play. It's getting us into the yellow, and then we're going to build up to another Brave Bird, and we're actually going to throw it, which I'm not sure is the right play. I think we probably should have just gone for the Sky Attack, because if they shield up, then they will able to farm up a lot more. Luckily, we did actually CMP tie, so that's really, really good for us. They throw the foul play, and that's great. So now we're up a shield. We're going to come in with a Toxicroak, and we're just going to farm up as much as possible. We're going to farm all the way down. We're going to shield up the Aerial Ace. Probably would have taken out about half of our health. But yeah, we're going to completely munch down the Mandibuzz and see what they come in with. Yeah, that's great. So the Medicham comes in, and even though that's quite a good matchup for the Medicham, Toxicroak with loaded energy is really, really dangerous. We go for the Mud Bomb bait, and they take it, which is absolutely brilliant. We farm up another ton of energy. Go for the Sludge Bomb before they can get to the move. And that hits and does a ton of energy, and we get to another move, and Toxicroak actually going to town here. I do love this Pokemon, a really, really fun one to use. They survive with a sliver of health. And we do actually call once again that I think they've got something that's weak in the back to Toxicroak. We're going to come in with a Manectric and quickly farm them down, and it is a Bastiodon, so we made the right call. And at this point, we're going to go for the Wild Charge. We didn't want to go for the Overheat first, because it would have debuffed our attack. So first we go for the Wild Charge, and then we go for the Overheat. And the castle face is taking a massive pounding from this tiny little electric lion thing. And we're not just able to take him out, so it shows how tanky Bastiodon is. It's able to take an Overheat and a Wild Charge from Manectric. So we just about survived the Flamethrower with the Toxicroak, and then in comes the Medicham, and we counter down with 1 HP. And boy, that was close in the end there. So that was a really, really good game. I enjoyed that one. So into the next battle, and I do believe this is the last one. We've got a Sableye on the lead. So not the best lead for the Skarmory, just because although Skarmory is tanky, Sableye can get to the moves really, really quickly, and 2 foul plays is going to be enough to take us out. We're going to build up to the Brave Bird, which probably isn't really necessary anyway, because they are going to shield, because the Sky Attack is going to do a lot of damage. But at least we're guaranteeing the shield there. So we're going to build up to another Sky Attack, and they do throw just as we get there, so it's good counting by my opponent. I am going to shield this up though, because we're going to be able to get this move off and threaten the second shield or win switch advantage. And they do double shield, so as I was saying before, people love to double shield their Sableye. We come straight in with the Toxicroak, because we don't want them to farm up any more energy. Could be quite risky, but then we end up shielding up a foul play, so that's not very good for us either, and we have to get off our energy before they get to the return. So we're going to take out the Sableye with a Mud Bomb. and then see what they bring in. All shields are down now, and they're bringing the Venusaur, so that's very questionable because obviously we can hit them for massive damage with the Sludge Bomb. Venusaur is very, very glassy and Great League. Look how much damage that did, it almost took it out. So the Venusaur is going to take out the Toxicroak, and then we're going to have to put all our chips into the Manectric. I'm worried at this point. I want to farm down the Venusaur, but I'm worried they might be able to get to a move. So I'm waiting for my switch timer to come up to see if we can swap out after we do some damage. But they swap straight into Stunfisk, and that's absolutely brilliant. We've seen this before. We're just going to go for the overheat. This took out the other Stunfisk, so I imagine it's going to do the same to this one. It does. Reduced to ash is the Stunfisk. Goodbye, and we're able to snarl down with the Manectric, and that is so satisfying. Manectric, you've been an absolute blast, son. Thank you for your one-shots. So another 3-2 set. I went very mixed with this team, but it was really, really fun. And there's a lovely shiny Cresselia that I caught. Look at that, so close to the hundo, 96%. I don't get much luck with Shundo, so not really a surprise there. But we did hatch a shiny Badoo. Look how cute this little guy is, oh my god. But anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. Please like and subscribe, and stay angry, trainers.